Hello beautiful booktubers, I'm Becky Bookworm and I'm here today to do my June wrap up. I realise it's not quite the end of the month yet, but I needed to film a video, so I figured I might as well do it. And this little lump of loveliness is Juggernaut. There he is, Juggernaut, beautiful Juggernaut. Yeah. Who else to go? Okay, so in June I read 2 graphic novels and 3 books. So the graphic novels I read was Lumberjanes. So during June I read 2 graphic novels, which is a bit poor for me. I usually read around 3 or 4. I also did a graphic novel readathon, which is really bad that I only read 2, but it's been a busy month. I've been trying to finish this programming course that I've been doing in my spare time, as well as working full time, trying to get my exercising and stuff back up and to where I want it to be. So it's been a little bit busy and I've been trying to juggle stuff, so that's why I've only read 2. First one was Lumberjanes Volume 2. You know, I did get on okay with this one. I preferred it to the first one. I liked the characters. It was the same characters, but I liked them a bit more in this, and I liked the overarching storyline. It's a group of girls who are all really good friends and they learn friendship lessons by being lumberjanes, but lots of supernaturally things happen. I don't really want to say more than that because it'll probably spoil it, but if you're into sort of girl gang, best friends, kind of motivating, positive depictions, then it's probably the one for you. I don't know whether I'll pick up Volume 3, I might just see if I can get it out the library. I gave that 3 stars out of 5. That's still really hot. Next up is Monstrous Volume 1 by Marjorie M. Liu. I've heard tons of stuff about this. It tends to be people either love it or they hate it. It's the artwork that reels you in, and then people were getting let down by the story. But I actually found the story really engaging. I really liked where it went. It was pretty brutal in places. It's about somebody who, I think they're called Arcanums. She's not human, and basically the humans and non-humans have been separated, and the non-humans are persecuted and tested on and kidnapped and sold into slavery. One of them, which is our protagonist, she only has one arm, she's got a strange mark on her neck, but she also has massive fighting abilities, she can do certain things, and she has this monster inside her that's doing awful things. She manages to break herself and some others out of this, I guess, sort of lab where these witches were cutting them up to take their energy, and it's a whole thing. It's quite a complicated story, and I'm trying to explain it without spoiling it for you, but I really enjoyed it. It was dark, it was quite gory, no characters are safe it seems, and I'm looking forward to Volume 2. I gave that 4 out of 5 stars. Next up is Seek the Throat from Which We Sing by Alex C.F. I was sent a copy of this by the author in exchange for giving an honest review. It's a self-published book and he's primarily an artist, and I think he's also the singer in a band. He contacted me through Instagram and just said, would I like to read his book? I saw the front cover of it and I was like, yeah, this looks amazing, so I'll put the front cover here so you can see it. As you can see, he's a really talented, skilled artist. I gave it a read and overall I enjoyed it. It was the story is set around various wildlife, and I can't tell whether I think it's set in an alternate reality, and basically they've given everything has a different name because it's from the story is told from the viewpoint of the wildlife. So us humans are actually called Wrath, and we're all dying out, we've all caught some disease, so the animals are starting to try and claim back the land. So the Wrath are all dying out, and there's this dick gull called Espera, who is the king of the gulls, and he rules this place where him and a load of other different birds live, and a lot of starlings, which are actually called startles in the story. And he's just killing everybody off, taking over things, murdering. He murders his children. He's just an awful, awful gull. And there's this little startle called Rune who, after everything goes to crap, he attacks one of the gull's sons and kills him, and then goes off to find his dad, and it's about his journey. There's a fight for land from various factions of wildlife. So the Vorsa, which are foxes, want to take over this city, but also the cats, which I think are called Morwih, M-O-R-W-I-H, I think it is. they want to take the city over from the Vorsa. So there's going to be a big war, and they're bringing in different animals and trying to get everyone on their side. And it's really good. It was action from the off. Rune's journey as he finds out who he is and what's happening is really good to watch him grow, and the friends that he picks up on the way is really interesting. And I've just felt really engaged with the characters overall. There were a few things that I didn't get on with. I guess I sort of had a love-hate relationship with the fact that all the different types of animals were renamed into something else. So I had to refer to the glossary. There's like a glossary in the front that tells you what's what. So I had to refer to that all the time because I've got a really shit memory. So I love the fact that they were called different things, and it made it seem very otherworldly, and I think it helped to immerse you more in the book. But I didn't like the fact that I had to keep flicking backwards and forwards. It kind of took me out of the story a little bit. Another thing that I didn't get on with, that I struggled a bit with, was the language is it's very flowery and poetic, but it's all the way through, and I found, for me, it distracted me from the story a bit. Don't get me wrong, it was beautifully written, but I think as someone who, I like my things to be written quite beautifully but also plainly, and I felt like there were a lot of words in there that I wasn't entirely sure what they meant, so again it pulled me back out of the story, which was a shame. But overall, I did really enjoy the story, and the artwork is absolutely beautiful. I've also heard that there's going to be a sequel, so I'm excited to read that when it's released. I will link Alex's, I think it's a Big Cartel, I'll link it down below, and I'll also link his Instagram page so you can see his artwork. Again, it is really, really beautiful. So I gave that 3.5 stars out of 5. Eva Hold It by Adam Rapp. This is a story about a guy who used to be in a semi-successful band. He had a wife, all that falls apart, she leaves him, he buys a house and lives in there and rents out all the other rooms and becomes a landlord, and he never leaves the house. So it talks about all the people that live there that he interacts with, and how his agoraphobia progresses and what that means and where he goes with his life. I thought it was pretty good. It wasn't recommended by anyone, but when I was watching a YouTube, and I can't remember who it was now, I'm terrible at remembering who I've seen say what, but somebody mentioned in their video that you can rent audiobooks from your library. So I got the app on my phone, let me see what it's called. It's called Overdrive. So you get that app on your phone, and then you link it up to your library membership, and you can rent audiobooks for free, which is absolutely amazing. So this just came up on the suggested books, so I got it, and yeah, it was alright. I enjoyed it. It was something nice to listen to. Like you've probably heard me say before, sometimes I really struggle with my mind wandering when I'm listening to stuff because I always feel like I need to be doing something. A lot of it is looking at my phone, which I know is absolutely so distracting, and I'm really trying not to do that at the minute. I'm trying to focus on what I'm listening to, which is why I'm listening to more audiobooks. But I did quite enjoy it. It was good to see his journey and what he went through, and I gave that 3 out of 5 stars. Next up, Lillian the Octopus by Ted Rowley. This is another audiobook I got from the library, and I'm pretty sure again, I can't remember because I've got a shit memory. Somebody on YouTube recommended this, so I went off and ordered it. Oh my god. So this book made me cry, and not just cry, it made me bawl my eyes out. So this is the story of Ted, who is a gay bloke who lives alone, well not lives alone, he lives with his dog Lily, and he's quite happy. He's had previous relationships, and one day, like he has conversations with Lily, they have little bits that they do together, and Lily seems to talk back to him, and they have banter. They're each other's world, they love each other. And then one day he discovers that Lily has a lump on her head, but he doesn't perceive it as a lump, he perceives it as an octopus, and it's this evil octopus that's doing awful things to Lily. As her health deteriorates, you go on a journey with them as his elderly dog starts to decline because of this octopus and how he deals with it. There's a sort of magical realism involved when you when Ted is telling the story and they're on a boat and all these other things and Lily can talk to him. There's flashbacks to when he first got her when she was a puppy, other things that have happened in their life together, the red ball that she absolutely loves and she plays with, and you just follow them. And it's actually narrated really well. The voice of Lily is hilarious. She's like super excited. I just really enjoyed it. It was a lovely story. I'm an absolute sucker for anything with animals in it. I really, really love animals. I love dogs. And obviously it's quite sad because Lily's health declined. I just couldn't handle it. Like, I was listening to it in the kitchen when my partner was doing the washing up, and I had to turn it off because he couldn't handle it. He didn't want to listen to it because it was too upsetting. And I was like, no, you're fine, death's a part of life, la 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 la, blah blah. What do I know? Like, literally went upstairs, carried on listening to it, and that was it. Floodgates opened. So it made me very sad, but also it was a great story about a dog's full and happy life and how inevitable is death. So I gave that 4 out of 5. So that's it for me today. That's everything I read. So that was 2 graphic novels and 3 books. Again, really light this month. I'm not doing very well at all. I'm currently reading Queen of the Damned by Anne Rice, which is continuing with the Vampire Chronicles read-along I'm hosting over on Goodreads. I'll link that down below. We're trying to read one a month, but we're all running a bit behind at the minute, so you can still jump in. We've only just started reading Queen of the Damned now if you want to do that. And I'm also listening to The Gender Games by Juno Dawson, who is a trans lady who is speaking out about gender, the differences between gender and sex, and how we're treated when we're younger can formulate who we are later on. It's just really interesting. So I think I'm about halfway through that so far, and I haven't really got a plan of what else I'm going to read this month, to be honest. I'm just going to pick something. I'm kind of feeling a bit non-fictiony, so I might choose something that. But anyway, that's me. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and please subscribe, and I'll be back pretty soon with another video. Big hugs. Bye!